Hey everyone, welcome back. This is my review of Bleach Manga Chapter 545. Alright, well, basically this chapter had 6 parts to it. I'm going to discuss each one in depth. The first part was basically just in the world of the living at the Kurosaki household, in which Ishin was actually healing a patient for the first time in the entire series, probably. Even though he's supposed to be he runs a clinic, and he used to be a Soul Reaper, so he knows keto anyways. Alright, so Soul Reaper captain, no less. And Yuzu's in the kitchen as always. And then there's cutting and playing video games. And that basically sums that part up. Supposedly, they don't know where Ichigo's at. Apparently, he was supposed to be back already, but he said he was going to soccer camp or something like that now. At first, I was like, and a lot of people are bitching about this part. It's like, when the fuck did he have time to tell him that? I'm going to guess and just say that his father told him that, and just be done with it. That's really all you have to do for something that small. Just say, okay, Ishin told him that when he got home, and then just be done with it, okay? The second part is back at the Royal Palace with Rukia and Renji, who are actually together now somehow. When Ichigo was sent to the world of living and started talking with his father, Rukia made it from the first palace to the second and third palace, and then both of them made it to the fourth palace. I don't know how that worked, but apparently it did. And they're training with each other, and then the fourth palace, of course, belongs to Senju. The reason why I remember that is because, you know, Senju, all you have to do there is just put DNA behind it, and you got yourself a fucking OP character. Naruto reference right there. But yeah, Senju Maru, who apparently originally we thought that she might have created keto, but apparently she created the robes that the Soul Reapers wear, the black robes and the white robes, which, you know, makes sense. In a way, I guess. I mean, I guess it's important because if you have any sort of military, then you have to have the appropriate attire to make them look like a professional military. So, you know, it makes sense. It was definitely really important for her to do that. Alright. And that's basically all we see of her. And so that's part 2. The second part is Byakuya still at the first palace. Finally recuperated from, or at least mostly from, his injuries while he's in the water. And now he's going to have to head to the second, third, and fourth palace just to catch up to Rukia and Renji, alright? Not to mention, you know, Ichigo still has to get to the fourth palace, and then all of them still have to get to the fifth palace, so, yeah. And the fourth part was actually just that, pretty much. Like, we forget his name, but he's the, I assume he might actually be the strongest of the Royal Guard, like individually, but he basically runs the fifth and final palace. I forget what his name was, but apparently he fights in apparently his training is going to be something like where they have to fight under much more gravity than they're used to, kind of like a Dragon Ball Z thing, in which when they train under huge amounts of gravity, much more than what they're used to, so that when they actually go out into battle under regular gravity, they'll be much stronger, basically like that, and faster and whatnot. So that was the fourth part. It was very brief there. And then the fifth part had to do with actually Momo calling up Shinji Hirako, who called up Hiyori to deliver the message, and asked her and the other Vizards to deliver something. I forget exactly what it was, but is just to deliver something obviously in favor of the war, you know. Alright, so we're finally seeing some more action from the Visors, which is really cool. And then we have the final part of this chapter, which is, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, the best part of this chapter, which was when Shunsui Kyotoku came to the world of the living and confronted Tatsuki, Keigo, and Mizuhiro, and he basically tells them it's time for you to part your ways with Ichigo, or something like that. Now, what could he have meant by that? I couldn't imagine Ichigo actually leaving his friends behind, first off. I mean, Tatsuki especially, because he has a long history of being friends with Tatsuki above all else. I mean, but I couldn't see him leaving any of his friends behind, really, because, you know, the whole reason he's fought up till now was basically to protect his friends and family. That's really the biggest thing that kept him going. And of course he had friends in the Soul Society too that he wanted to protect, like Rukia and Renji, and his other comrades too, which he does care about his comrades, but mostly it's just his friends and family, from the world, his human ones from the world of the living. And he's a mixture of all of these breeds now. You know, he's a Soul Reaper, he's a Hollow, he's a Visored, he's a Quincy, he's an Arankar. I mean, goddamn, you know, he's a human. Like, he's a mixture of so fucking much now that it's just crazy, you know. So I'm guessing that, I don't know. I mean, I suppose maybe since Ichigo has so much power now, he might actually become a full-fledged Soul Reaper. Maybe even become a captain of one of the 13 Kogar squads. Perhaps the new head captain, or maybe he'll even become the new Spirit King. Who knows? That's the only thing I can think of that I could have possibly thought of when Kyotoku says, "Time for you to part ways with Ichigo," or whatever he said. You know, because that's the only thing I could think of. But I still could not see him leaving his friends and family behind for anything. Like, Ishin would probably be an exception because I'm not sure if he can travel to, even with his powers back now, I'm not sure if he can travel to the Soul Society freely or not. But Ishin might be the only exception to that if he became a full-fledged Soul Reaper. The rest of his friends and family, I doubt he'd be able to see again. I mean, even when they die and go to the Soul Society, they lose all their memories anyway, so it'd be completely fucking pointless. Alright, he'd remember them, obviously, but they would not remember him. And I'm not sure if there is a way to give memories back, so yeah, it'd be completely fucking pointless there. So I could just not see Ichigo doing it. Honestly, he cares too much about his friends and family. That's the only thing that's kept him going up to this point. I could not see him doing it, alright? Overall, that's about it. That's about all that happened in this chapter, though. It was a really good chapter. I enjoyed it, especially that last part, which is so fucking weird. Like, really? Parting ways. No clue what he means by that. But anyways, though, overall chapter was still really good, though. So yeah, anyways, hope you enjoyed this video, guys. See you after, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.